This is Brother Gary, and I know this is pretty amateur and unprofessional, but it's been a quiet COVID-19 morning in the office, which allows me time to think and to doodle, but it helps clarify a lot of things. And I just wanted to say that I think we're coming to a conversation point in the relationship. So I wanted to record this in case I don't get it communicated equally to everybody else. There would always be this kind of video record. That said, it's a privilege to be the transitional pastor at First Baptist Church of Marionville, Missouri. What a great group, what a lot of fun we've had. It's hard to believe it's actually been over a year. So I started with a little timeline over here. I came in like May of 2019, and there were some significant events that happened along the way. We're over a year later now, end of May, 1st of June in 2020. We had some personnel changes. We did a lot of sustaining and reorganizing. A lot of what I've done has happened behind the scenes. It's happened within the office, processes and structures and organization, and we really worked on a baseline membership. It's nowhere near done. It doesn't have the level of detail because we haven't been able to meet and find a lot of people. I don't know where they are. But we've worked really hard on the accounting piece, and it has the potential for great ministry. So we are set up for some really good things. We went along the way through the holidays. Trevor was a blessing that came to us. Gary Davis was one of those walk-on players we put on the A-team and said, I got to have your help. We had just gotten to our transitional task force because we had to do a bunch of rebuilding. But we were just good to go, and then in March, the COVID-19 thing hit. And that pivoted us. We had to get online really quick. We had to figure out how to sustain our giving. We developed the One Another Network, which some key leaders have just kind of kept that going, and I think we've lost about 1 out of 3 that I don't know where they are, and they didn't choose to connect with us, and yet, you know, we did really well with some things. And then there was the payroll protection plan and all of the changes that have come along this. So I tell you what, it's been an action-packed year, and it's really good. We've done some really, really great things. Before I get away, this is my little key up here. So here's my timeline. These are the options that I see that are ahead of us. The strategic goal is these by the arrows. And then my role in that, what I want to share with you is how it looks right now, is circled there. So I see us kind of at a crossroads as we reopen back up. If we just keep going kind of back to the way it was, and although it won't be normal, it will be a new normal. We're going to have second and third order of effects to our second and third order of effects. But if we try to reopen as before, the best phrase I have is that the unique characteristic of this church is there are a lot of things going on, but one person or one group kind of does this over here. Another person, another group kind of does this over here. They're all great. They're all wonderful. They're loving. They're caring. They're serving ministries. Love each and every one of them. But they're individual pockets. And so I call that doing what's right in our own eyes. You're being obedient to the Lord, but it's not a church-wide strategy. It's a portion of the church working in different ways. And that's okay. We would then sustain our fellowship, and my job would be to organize those events, redoing what we had done the year before and the year before that. I would fill the pulpit and organize those, and we would work on those individual things. That's one direction. The other thing, and this is the part that has motivated me today, is I was brought in to do this transitional process. Now, everyone tells me, you know, that book is a guideline. You don't have to hit everything. Yeah, but for baseball to work, sometimes you got to go to first base, then you go to second base, and, you know, around until you score. Well, we kind of got started. It took real slow. It's just been a lot of familiarizing me with all of the other things going on. And reality check is every time we would get going, here's another holiday event, or here's another special thing going on. And I felt derailed a lot. It's like everyone's for it, but there's this big thing right here. If we continue and you want me to do the transitional thing, I've got to say there is no other priority. And what is maybe good about this moment is COVID-19 pretty well just cleared the table. We undid a whole lot of the calendar. We reoriented. We've had to postpone big important things. Maybe, just maybe though, that's an opportunity to make this the priority. And so it's getting to be an integrity thing with me. This is what you brought me for. I love preaching. I love administration. I love the reorganization that we've done. At the same time, I really feel like I've not done a good job of the transition process at all. So if we go to this, then my job will be to develop and implement that common operating picture. We're going to set the stage for a huge decision of the next pastor coming. But we've got to not just have pockets of this and that. We've got to say, you know, our character and our mission is this one big thing that we all fit in under. What is that one big thing? That's what we do. So it'd be up to me to lead that process. We can go there. I think we've done good transition. We haven't followed the guidance. So if you want to do that, we need to keep it a priority, and now is the time to implement that before all the other stuff begins to just fill in naturally. The third thing we could do that I think is a viable option for us right now is, you know what? You may say, Gary, thank you for what you've done. We're a little more structured. We're a little more organized. We've made this transition to all the online stuff and the giving and things. That's been the transition that we needed. I think we're ready to go ahead as a church and get a pulpit committee and allow me to be a bridge to the new pastor by advising and administrating. So in other words, I would continue these foundational processes so that the new pastor coming in, he won't be redoing what I did. You could even use me in a bit of an ongoing, a bit of an overlap time to say, new pastor, what is your vision? What do you want to do? Let me assist in setting that up, and then I'll fade away. You know, I'm going here, another guy comes along and parallels, we fly in formation for a little while, and then it works well. But the goal or the mission would be to prepare for the new pastor's vision, to lay that foundation, just like we did with that slab. That is a 1.5 foot slab of concrete that's 40 by 80. And man, oh man, nothing's going to mess with that. On that foundation, we were able to raise a superstructure and create that pavilion. Same thing right here. I'd be the concrete guy, and we'd be prepping for the steel to show up. So as I look at where we are right now, about the 1st of June, we can keep going as we did before, and we just ask God to keep blessing. We go through this process and we don't do anything else for a while. That's got to be the number one. Or we go, you know what? Cool, but I think it's time. It's been a full year. We've gotten a lot done in that year. It's kind of been jam-packed. So now we're ready to just keep going, and we'll start to launch and allow me to advise and administrate. I don't have a preference. It's really not my decision to make. I've always thought I was an advisor or a consultant, and I've loved everything that I've done here. This has been a real blast and a real blessing to me. I've enjoyed being able to preach. I've enjoyed working with the folks, come to know and love and appreciate every member. I love just taking care of these great people of the Lord. But I also know that I'm not the main guy. I'm not the guy going to be here forever. What is the next step for the church? So we need to pray together about that. We need to have an honest conversation over the next few weeks. And the sooner the better, because it will allow us, again, the calendar begins to pull us along if we're not deliberate about where we want to go. thanks for taking the time to listen to this all the way through. And I'll be checking it again to go, yeah, I really think that. Yeah, these I think are the best options. But it's been a good morning, and I had a rough diagram, and then I filled in around it, and I said, you know what? Whatever the church wants to do, there's a future out here for us. I have an opportunity to guide that. We just need to pray together about that direction and then go forward as a team. Thank you.